Okay, so this is another Henry Segerman design that we just 3D printed overnight. And this is actually not a 24 cell, it's half of a 24 cell. So what did Matt Parker tell you about the 24 cell?
It's the 4D equivalent of a rhombic dodecahedron.
Okay.
He called it the hyperdiamond.
He also called it a hyperdiamond.
There's like a bunch of different names. There's like the octacube.
The octacube. Okay, so what was it made out of?
So it's made out of 24 octahedrons.
24 octahedrons. Okay, so the tricky thing here, and we're zoomed out enough that you can pick it up and kind of rotate it around. I'm curious, why don't you go first? Can you see even one octahedron in here? And it's tricky because this is half of a 24
Well,
cell.
I think you can kind of see half of it because it's got this is kind of and it meets like in the middle, and then it forms a square. So I think this is the square, and then these lines go to the top.
Okay, and that's
half of it.
That's
so
half
the
of
other
an
half of
octahedron.
it will come kind of like that.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so you saw something that's half of one of the octahedrons.
I think the middle one is actually a complete octahedron
Okay.
in the middle.
All right.
And then this is I think a different type of the octahedron here. I don't know how it got sliced because it's got like triangle on the bottom and then triangles coming up. Here it doesn't really look like an octahedron that can be sliced in any way.
Okay, wow, it's a very interesting shape. All right, let your brother take a crack at it and see. Do you see any octahedrons in here?
Well, I see a bunch, but they're all like the ones that there's only 3 types of them. There's really the center one. There's the half ones on the edge, and there's the distorted ones in the middle.
Oh, there's some distorted ones in the middle. Okay. Why don't you say a little bit more about those?
So like right here, you have bottom looks sort of normal as an octahedron. You can see the dividing square. But then this top part, you sort of pull the center of it, or the vertex at the top, back and curve the edges like this. So it comes up to here, and it comes only down to here at the bottom.
Okay. So I think this is a very difficult shape to see, and that's why I only printed half of it, because I liked Henry's idea of, let's just look at half of this thing and see what it looks like. Can we make any interesting sort of shadows of it in the camera?
Wait, rotate it back there.
Yeah, there's a neat one. Let's zoom in a little more.
Right there.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh look, is that a hexagon in the middle maybe? Who knows? Yeah, there's some neat, it's a very neat shape. And let's just finish up. We don't need to start a new movie. Here's another one we have. And what is this shape?
This is half of a 120 cell.
You think it's half? Is it a half 120 cell or a full one?
I think we ordered half of a 120
Is it
cell.
half? It's the same idea? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not actually sure. I don't remember.
I think the full one was too big.
Okay. And what do you think about the 120 cell?
Well, it's complicated. Very complicated. You can't even see all the way through it.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
No. Like, there's like one point where you can see all the way through it.
Try to angle it at the camera. Right there. And if you look in the center.
Yeah. It's
see all the
like
way
one little dot.
One little dot all the way through. Okay.
So it looks like.
How would you describe this shape?
Well, you take a bunch of dodecahedrons. Or, yeah. You take 120 and, well, it's half, but you take 120, 3 to an edge.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this, but how do you fit them 3 to an edge?
Ah, yes, that's a very good question.
Like, that's not that's not what you could answer in 3 dimensions.
That's right. That's right. You would not be able to do that in 3 dimensions.
Like, you can't put 3 things on an edge normally.
Yeah, we might be able to talk about that a little bit more later. Actually, Henry has another different 3D printing activity that talks about that, I think.
Alright.
And how would you describe this shape? What interests, or what do you notice about this
Looks
shape?
like it has a non-distorted dodecahedron on the outside. is the outside lines. And then it looks like from that, I think there's 6 dodecahedrons to a face.
Well, there's one, like when you move in, it's a really flat dodecahedron right here.
Okay.
You can see you got
Okay,
5.
yeah, move it up.
5 squished pentagons around here, and then another 5.
Yeah, it's
top
your hand is covering it up, unfortunately. So tell me some things you think about this shape.
So you can sort of see the distortion because some of the pentagons are not regular pentagons.
I see, okay.
So like this pentagon right here so this is not a regular pentagon.
Okay.
I don't know if it's something about like the just way you print them, but has straight lines just like our hypercube B. This just has straight lines.
Okay.
Like this, but the rest of them were curvy.
Oh.
That's just a way that he decided to print them.
Yeah, that's a representation. That's a different kind of representation. But you're right. There's 2 different ways there's a couple of different ways, more than 2. There's a couple different ways of thinking about it. All right, guys, this is really good. It's fun to see these shapes in Matt Parker's book.
Yeah.
And it's fun to play around with 3D prints of them. All right, good job, guys.